Hello and welcome to the Skyward channel. Today, this is my $750 Fallout 4 gaming PC. So if you want to go ahead and build a gaming PC, especially for Fallout 4 with the upcoming events of this holiday season, and you definitely want to run that game at 60 FPS in ultra settings at either 1080p or 1440p, but you don't want to break the bank and go above the $1,000 price range, then this is the perfect Fallout 4 gaming PC for you. So for the processor, a goal of mine was to make it a quad-core processor, so I went ahead and went with the Core i5-6400. This is a quad-core processor based off of the new Skylake architecture, and from looking at recent gaming results from this CPU, it looks like it's still a quite moderate CPU when it comes to running games. It actually matches up a little bit with the 4690K actually in terms of gaming performance, which is actually quite impressive for the CPU running at 3.3 GHz. But regardless though, my goal is to put a quad-core processor in this build, and especially at a price point of $180, you can't beat this quad-core processor from Intel. Now for the motherboard, I chose the Gigabyte B150M D3H motherboard. So this is a micro ATX motherboard by Gigabyte based off of the brand new B150 chipset. And from looking at this motherboard at its cheap price point, it looks like this is a very solid rigid motherboard, especially for this price of a gaming PC. But anyways though, in this motherboard you're getting DDR4 support up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. Also, this motherboard has 6 SATA 6 gigabit ports, so all of the ports on this motherboard are all SATA 6 gigabit rather than SATA 3 gigabit. And lastly, this motherboard is made by Gigabyte, and Gigabyte has been a long-known motherboard supplier, so I'm quite confident that this motherboard will last for a long time. Now for the RAM kit, I have the G-Skill Ripjaws V-Series 8GB RAM set. So in this RAM set, you're getting a 8GB dual channel kit priced at $46 and is DDR4. Now, I just want to say that Fallout 4, regardless of it being 2015 or not, and for this being such a high-end game, you still only need 8GB of RAM for this game, so we're not going to go above 8GB of RAM for this gaming PC. Now for the hard drive, I'm yet again going to go ahead with the Western Digital Blue 1TB hard drive. I've always gone with this hard drive because it's super reliable and it's such a good hard drive for its price. You're getting 1 TB of storage in it, which is plenty to store all of your games, your videos, or anything related to that. Not to mention, this actually can boot up your system, especially on Windows 10, in about 10 to 20 seconds if you enable fast boot, which is quite an impressive time for a hard drive. But lastly though, this is just such a solid, reliable hard drive, especially for the $50 price point, so you cannot go wrong with this hard drive. Now for the graphics card, I chose the Asus Strix GTX 970 graphics card for $316. Now from all the research that I did over Fallout 4 and over different graphics cards, it looks like this is the prime graphics card if you want to run Fallout 4 at very high to ultra settings at easily above 60 FPS, especially if you're running at 1080p. But if you're running at 1440p, you're going to hit right at that 59 FPS mark on the GTX 970, which is still really impressive. So if you did actually want to put graphical mods in the future on Fallout 4, especially at 1080p, this GTX 970 will definitely support that extra FPS required to run those graphical mods. But anyways though, this graphics card has 3.5 gigabytes of VRAM. This has the GTX 970 chipset, which has been known to run a lot of games really quickly. And a nice thing about this graphics card is that it can support NVIDIA Shadowplay, which is nice if you want to record games. So if you want to go ahead and record a Let's Play series of Fallout 4, you're totally available to do so thanks to Shadowplay. So for the case, I'm going with the Enermax Ostrog ATX Mid-Tower Computer Case. So for $40, this is a very solid and rigid case by Enermax, and especially for its price point, it does a lot and it has a ton of features, especially for the modern PC user. So anyways, this has cable threading in order to reduce cable clutter in your case and to pretty much open up and clear up your case. This also has plenty of fan mounts for excellent airflow. Also, one of the nice things about this case is that it has a very large window, so you can go ahead and see all of your PC components inside of it with ease. And also, this can support long graphics cards thanks to its removable hard drive cage. And lastly, this can support USB 3.0, so there are plenty of good features in this case. But anyways though, finally in this build for the power supply, I chose the EVGA 500 watt 80 plus power supply. So this is a 500 watt power supply by EVGA, and 500 watts is enough for this PC because the i5-6400 in this build is not overclockable, so it'll still stay at its low wattage. And even on NVIDIA's website for the GTX 970, it says that the minimum power supply requirement is a 500 watt power supply, so that's good right there. And plus on PC Part Picker, this has an average wattage rating of 295 watts, which is still really low. But anyways though, in addition to that, this power supply has an 80 plus efficiency rating, which is not 80 plus bronze, but still at the 80 plus efficiency, which is still good. and it's better than having a regular power supply with no sort of 80 plus efficiency. But regardless though, this is a highly rated power supply, especially for its low price of $40. Anyways though, thank you guys so much for watching this PC build video, especially for it being a gaming PC geared for the brand new Fallout 4 game that just came out and is on the rage right now. But anyways though, make sure to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe and all that, and this is the Skylake channel signing out.